The Browns wrap up day 2 of the NFL draft here in Berea. And, of course, the pick that has everyone talking, Mary Kay, was their last pick at number 94 overall when they took Oregon quarterback Dillon Gabriel. So what were your thoughts when that pick got turned in?
Well, I had an idea that this was going to happen. I knew that something was brewing here with Dillon Gabriel for a while. They spent a lot of time on Dillon Gabriel. The day before they went to the Colorado Showcase for Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, they flew all the way out to Eugene, Oregon in Air Haslam to spend extra time with Dillon Gabriel. You're not doing that unless you're seriously thinking about drafting a player. So they spent a lot of extra time with him. They liked everything about him. They believe he is a great fit for this offense. And at this point in time, he's a developmental quarterback that sort of goes with the flow of everything that they're trying to do. They really think the world of Dillon Gabriel. He's going to come in here and compete for the starting job.
Yeah, Ashley, this was a pick that obviously surprised a lot of people. Gabriel, a guy that most people, I think, had as a day 3 pick. He's 5'11", so he's got to kind of fight against that. But when you do watch him play, you do see the accuracy, you do see the timing, you do see maybe what the Browns looked at and fell in love with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's succeeded for the most part at a big-time school in Oregon. Obviously, this past season, one of the top teams in college football. But I know I like to reserve all my judgment on picks. But this one, I'm digesting it. I'll say it that way. I think there certainly were some other guys I maybe would have preferred they ended up with. I think if they were going to wait till take a quarterback until earlier, I wouldn't have mind seeing them go after, I don't know, like Will Howard tomorrow or something at this stage of the game, because I think there were still some good other positions at 94 that they could have benefited from. And it was surprising, I think, for a lot of people, even though, as Mary Kay said, clearly in the lead up to the draft, this organization did a lot of grunt work in going after Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I think we'll probably explore this pick a little bit more on our Orange Brown Talk podcast, so make sure you check that out. Let's talk about some other picks here, though, that they made today, Mary Kay, and some picks that were a little more popular than that Dillon Gabriel choice, including a running back that a lot of fans here in Cleveland know a lot about.
Absolutely. Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State, one of the 2 running backs, the popular running backs that really tore it up and helped them win a national championship this season. Quinshon led them in rushing yards with 1,060 yards this season. He also tied for the team lead with 16 touchdowns, 14 of those on the ground. He's very productive. He has some traits that are similar to Nick Chubb. That's what Glenn Cook sort of described him as, and that's what Catherine Hickman, those are the 2 Browns assistant GMs, they talked about him almost in Nick Chubb terms. And when they talked about him squatting 600 pounds and whatnot, it was like, this sounds a whole lot like Nick Chubb to me. So we'll have to see how that goes. And who knows, maybe Nick will end up back here too.
Yeah, I kind of see a lot of Kareem Hunt when I see him run, that power, that violence. He runs with a little bit of Kareem Hunt violence when he has the football. Ashley, they took another skill player too, and one that we kind of had circled as maybe this guy's going to end up as a Cleveland Brown.
We have been keeping an eye on Harold Fannin throughout this draft process. I remember even, Dan, he was one of the guys you were most excited to talk to at the Combine. Of course, he led all of college football this past year in receiving yards, receptions, both of those numbers, which I don't have Mary Kay's affinity for numbers, so I'm not going to try to rattle them off right now. We're also FBS tight end records. So he was a late bloomer, didn't get a ton of college offers when he was playing both ways at Canton McKinley, was a receiver and a DB in high school. He became a tight end really once he got to college. And the Browns, I thought some of their most glowing reviews today were from Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski talking about Harold Fannin and how excited they are. Andrew Berry called him the queen on the chessboard. They think he's going to pair great alongside David Njoku. And I know he's, for as much criticism as he's gotten for his running style or his blocking ability, Andrew even said that some of that he thinks is just, quote, lazy narratives because of his size, and it's not what you see on film.
Now, their first pick was one that kind of took people by surprise. It was Cameron Schwesinger, I think I said that right. The linebacker out of UCLA at number 33 overall. And of course, it had some people wondering, well, does this mean anything as far as Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's future goes? Now, Andrew Berry said those two things were not related. I guess we'll find out. But this was clearly a need pick, and this was clearly a situation where the Browns looked at that position, and they said, we need a linebacker, and it seems like there's a clear drop-off after they made this pick. So that was an interesting way to start the day, but then they finished it with two very popular picks and another head-scratcher. We covered all of them, so you can read about them, see quotes, see what Andrew, Kevin, Catherine Hickman, Glenn Cook, what they all had to say about them at cleveland.com/Browns.